Hey, hey everybody. Whew, man, it's been a while since I recorded one of these, huh? Hey, I know you guys have all been waiting for it. Fuck yeah. I just want to say first off that everybody who's been telling me that I haven't recorded in a while, you guys are completely right. And I don't know, I think I have some of the best fans on WCR. You guys are always telling me, hey, I wish I could, hear more. You should record more, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, the highest compliment I can get for doing all these audios is that you guys want to hear more of them. So, if you feel like PMing me, IMing me, I think all my IM information is public, or catch me on BattleNet on KOD-Wicked. Just tell me what I'm doing right, tell me what I'm doing wrong, give me any suggestions you got, and I love to hear them. I love talking to you guys. So, all right. So, I am coming back from, I don't know, near death, I suppose. It's, like I said, it's been a while since I recorded, but I promise you I've got a pretty sweet game for you today that I'm going to be analyzing from, both sides of the replay. I usually do both sides. And let's see. We got a game here today between Sweet, who's sporting the Wear a tag, and WNV. I'm going to call him X, because I at one point or another knew how to pronounce his name, and I assure you it's not Xayot, which is what I was going to say, but then I decided I'll just call him X. Or maybe Orc. Or maybe Green. Whatever strikes the fancy. So I'll tell you what, why don't you guys get that replay paused up at 1 minute, because I think that's what I've got paused at, and most likely you'll want to be at what I'm at. I'm not sure. You guys can do it a few minutes ahead if you want to hear, me tell you what's about to happen. But I don't understand why you would want to. I just don't get it. Alright, so 1 minute if you've got it there. And if you don't, go ahead and pause me talking, even though, I know you don't really want to stop the steady stream of sexy coming from your speakers, but you're going to have to if you want this to line up properly. So, you got 1 minute. Go ahead and unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. Alright, so oftentimes this map, Turtle Rock, is seen as either a Night Elf or a human map, and fortunately for us, we've got neither. It's Undead versus Orc. Everybody's favorite Undead, Sweet, facing off against X here, who's playing Orc. Okay, and we've got spawns. They're not close spawns, so we're going to have a decent game at least. No early game tower rushes or anything, although neither of these players are human, so that wouldn't be a problem anyway. We're going to see Sweet going for a Fiend build. Fiends are generally good against Orc, except Grunt's Speed Scroll, War Stomp, and Chain Lightning, as we're going to see later, completely dominate them. But then again, those same things dominate Ghouls 20 times more. So if you got a choice between Fiends and Ghouls against Orc, usually you're going to want to go with the Fiends. That is, unless you get a Dreadlord and go for Sleep Surrounds. Now you're going to see here, if you catch it real quick, Sweet's training at Death Knight and decides maybe, I don't know, a third of the way through his training that he actually doesn't want that Death Knight. He's going to go for a hero that I'll explain in a second. Ha! I was going to give it away, but no. Alright, so here we've got X doing some creeping, standard stuff, and there we go. Sweet's finally gotten his Beastmaster. Now, when you're Night Elf, or even when you're human, going Beastmaster against Orcs not a big deal. Because, Orcs have to go for Shamans to counter the, whatchamacallem, summons. And, but usually you're not going to see that with an Undead because, well, Undead doesn't have any real mana regeneration. They don't have Clarity Potions in their shop. They don't have Moonwells. They don't have Brilliance Aura. They got nothing. But really what you're going to see is the use of the Beastmaster really allows for overwhelming summons, because if you combine Quillbeast with the use of the Rod of Necromancy, whatever you want to call it, the Rod of Skellies, you're able to spawn up a pretty decent sized army just out of nothing, and you're going to see that right here. I guess he's got a pretty big army already. You got 2 Skellies, a couple of Quillies. I think he probably realizes that's an illusion, but I'm not sure if he's going to catch that or not. So using the illusion to scout, always a good idea. And, yeah, So as of right now, it's just standard creeping. Farseer on X's side is, you know, standard choice. And you're going to notice that X is going to build a shop over near that mine over there. He's going to use that shop as a precursor to a fast expansion. Well, it's not exactly fast if he's not doing it now, but as a precursor to an expansion. And, you know, having the shop over there just means that if he has to fight near his expansion, he's going to have a place to buy items, he's going to have a place to refill, you know, solves, that kind of stuff. Alright, so we've got an opening skirmish here, and you see that X is going to be forced to run because of all those summons that Wearer's pulled out on him. And, yeah, I don't know. Well, most of this early game Orc vs. Undead stuff is pretty boring, although you're going to see some pretty sweet harass/creeping here by X. So he's going to go in with the Farseer, attack one of the Acolytes, but I think he's going to be forced out by that Nerubian Tower, because definitely, when you're playing Undead, always get Nerubian Tower versus Orc, whether they go Farseer or whether they go fucking Blade Master. It's going to be useful. You'll see that the Farseer picked up a Staff of Teleportation, and he's going to use it to teleport over to that shop. Another good reason to have an out-of-base shop. He'll never know when you're shopping. And, yeah, so Staff of Teleportation, always a must if you're going to be harassing sans your units. So if you want to be creeping and harassing at the same time, you got to get that Rod of Tele. Alright, so we've got creeping here, creeping. You're actually going to see X do some pretty impressive creeping here of this red camp with just 4 grunts and a level 2 Farseer. You'll notice that he uses illusions and he attacks with them first, so that they definitely get tanking. And you also see that he's going to go for the Forest Troll Berserkers first. Now, the Forest Troll Berserkers, the reason you go for them first is they have the highest damage per life, I think would be the correct way to put that, of any unit at this camp. The Warlord's got a bit more life than them and only does a bit more damage, so it's easier to go for the Berserkers first, because they're going to go down quicker on the Orc side to all that normal damage, because they have normal armor as well. And so, you know, there's a bit of fancy creeping there, and I think we're going to see X set up his expansion relatively quickly. I'm not sure how quickly that peon gets. Oh, there's already a peon there. Look how quick I am. And right now we're going to have the Beastmaster pushing on X's base. Hawk is always good for burrow raping, because, you know, magic damage takes him down quickly. Second hero for X is the Tauren Chieftain. Always get War Stomp versus Fiends. It just decimates them. Although Shockwave can be a viable option if you're looking just for more pure damage. But, you know, Stomp is going to give your grunts time to really, you know, get at the Fiends, and they're going to be the ones doing the real damage in that situation rather than the spell itself. But nevertheless, Sweet manages to take down 2 burrows. And Speed Scroll, always a must versus Undead, because you're going to want to be chasing down Crypt Fiends. Getting little almost surrounds there by X. X isn't exactly man, that was a yawn. Anyway, X isn't exactly getting large amounts of Fiend kills. And you'll see the Wearer here with his summons and decent Fiend micro is able to keep most of his stuff alive. I'm not sure if he loses any Fiends, but definitely a grunt went down there for X. One disadvantage to getting that Beastmaster is you get 0 Fiend healing capacity, so you're going to need to research Burrow at one point or another in order to save Fiends, because otherwise you're not going to be able to micro them at all. And so we got Fiends running away. This is impressive Fiend micro, but it's really not something that I can tell you guys how to do. Running the Fiend away while your units attack a grunt, that's always good. You'll see that the Farseer is actually in the base of Sweet, picking off any units that are trying to run back to the base at low HP. It's all additionally a good idea. There's really not much to say at this point. Both these players are extremely good, and they're using their micro to sort of control multiple units at multiple times. You know, we've got X, who was formerly harassing with his Farseer, but is now done with that. And he's actually going to... Oh, I guess he's not going to get a solve off on that. Yep, dead. So, Beastmaster's not going to go down either. Beastmasters are tough to take down. Another good reason to get one, even if you're undead. Alright, so you'll see we're going to talk about this fast expansion a bit, I guess. You see that X is setting up the fast expansion at that place he creeped. Because he was able to creep it so quickly, I don't think Sweet's going to scout it out for quite some time. So as an orc, that's actually a pretty viable option for you guys. Not just something that some random ghost who's able to do. Because as an orc, you got burrows, you got a pretty good base defense going on there. You should be able to hold off attacks. And while he's attacking your main base, if you got this expo over here that he knows nothing about, he's not going to be able to do anything about it. One thing I think X does later and should always be done at expansions is building a burrow right next to the gold line. So if he comes to just harass your peons, you're able to hold that off. And yeah, I think Sweet misses a pretty 6-around opportunity here, but Farseer manages to pull through. Nah, oh well. So back to that expansion, you see that shop that was set up there is going to allow him to use his staff teleportation, get there quickly, buy items if he needs to, even in the middle of a fight. And yeah, I think we'll go over unit choice at this point for X first. Getting 2 bestiaries and a spirit lodge, he can do that because of his expansion. Researching spirit walkers, which he's getting for the dispel properties. I'm not sure why he's getting exactly spirit walkers as opposed to shamans, whose purge would be a bit more effective against summons. But you're going to see later that because Sweet also goes banshees, it actually turns out to be a really sound decision for him. So spirit walkers I personally wouldn't recommend, but Spirit Link is really useful when creeping, as X is showing here. It allows you to tank with your Tauren Chieftain, but still allow damage to get spread out to everybody else. We're going to have more Farseer harassing. I don't know why he's bringing a Raider with him in particular, but he is bringing a Raider with him. And so, you know, this is just typical stuff, guys. Creeping with, you know, Tauren Chieftain while your Farseer goes off and harass. Usually you're going to see this with a Blade Master more often than a Farseer, but not unheard of. Well, at least it's not unheard of. Excuse me, now I just said it. So, you can see that X is throwing up that orc burrow up there. Like an orc burrow, as if there's any other kind of burrow. Yeah, so he's throwing out that burrow just in case he gets harassed, but I still don't think where a Sweet has scouted that out yet, which is pretty friggin' awesome for X, because he's just raking in the gold. And right now he's getting Wyvern. I actually have a fun little anecdote for Wyvern. I play random, so I was having trouble the most with my orc game, because I would always get Grunts, Raiders, Tauren Chieftain, and Farseer, and I just couldn't figure out how to do all that much damage to anybody. And I would Shockwave, Chain Lightning, but the Raiders and Grunts just weren't doing any damage. So one day I was on IM, and I noticed that my friend Shriek was on, RS Shriek, famous for massing lots of footmen and getting lots of towers. Anyway, I said, well, Shriek, I'm having trouble with my orc game. I don't understand how you do damage with this race. And he said one sentence that completely changed my orc game forever. And that sentence was, get lots and lots of Wyvern. Because Wyvern truly do a shitload of damage. And they're relatively cheap, 265. They can be upgraded to a tier 3 type air unit with a heavy damage. That poison with Envenom Spears, they're able to take down heroes pretty quickly if you've got maybe 7 or 8 of them. So Wind Riders are really the backbone of any orc army. That you got to have a couple of them to do damage, because otherwise I just don't understand how anybody does damage with orc. It's not really possible. Anyway, we had Sweet using summons to harass. Pretty good idea. If you've got that Beastmaster, send over a level 2 Quill Beast and a level 3 Spirit Hawk, and you're going to be able to take out burrows like nobody's business. You won't even have to be there. But we're also going to see this is actually Sweet fighting a real battle, and you're going to see that X's units are too many, so he's going to scare him off. And I think at this time, Sweet's probably anticipating, or, well, not anticipating is probably not the best word, but wondering, you know, how's he getting all these units. I think pretty soon he's going to be scouting out this that expansion of X's. Whether or not it'll be too late remains to be seen. But let's go over some unit choices for Sweet. He continues to pump Fiends. Fiends are a good counter to Wyvern. Fiends are a good counter to Spirit Walkers. They're a bad counter to Grunts and Raiders, but you know, you can make up for that with summons. Yawn. Anyway, other unit choices is he's getting Banshees and Adept Training